Although there are many sports and activities which require higher levels of focus, very few compare to the intensity required for auto racing, especially Formula One. And there is no greater driver who demonstrated this than the late Ayrton Senna, three-time Formula One world champion. I first met Ayrton when he was 14 years old when we raced go-karts in São Paulo. Ayrton was already an exceptional driver at that time, highly committed and determined to be the best. Watching him drive his go-kart around the track was inspiring because of his aggressive yet very precise style. Ayrton is considered to be the best race car driver of all times, not only because of his exceptional skills, but also because of his intense focus and character. Listen to what he said about overcoming limitations.
You think you have a limit. As soon as you touch this limit, something happens and you suddenly can go a little bit further. With your mind power, your determination, your instinct, and the experience as well, you can fly very high.
This is very inspiring. We are constantly redefining our limits, but sometimes we get stuck on a limiting thought, creating limiting beliefs and behaviors. In order to break through our limitations, we have to shift our thinking, our perspectives, our worldviews, and our habits. This is not always easy because of our patterns, and can be frustrating when we can't see our desired change happening quick enough. Because we all experience challenges and changes in different ways, it is very important not to compare ourselves with others. We choose our race and pace. We are where we are, and our processes are unique to each one of us. I believe it is more important to create a process of transformation first, and then find a challenging and non-stressful pace. My programs were designed to facilitate this process. Let me bring Senna back. In 1988, Ayrton was racing for the McLaren team alongside Alain Prost, who was already world champion and highly regarded as one of the finest as well. Then the Monaco Grand Prix arrived, the most traditional race in the world, much like the Indy 500 in the United States. It takes place in the tight streets of Monte Carlo, where there is no room for error, and even the smallest mistake could lead to a crash. So in qualifying, Ayrton showed his finesse by going almost 1.5 seconds faster than Prost. Let me repeat, 1.5 seconds faster. Half a second would have been impressive already, but 3 times that in a lap? In racing, this is like a full day ahead. But what made it more impressive was that both drivers had exactly the same equipment and the same team behind them. And remember, it was Alain Prost in the other car, a world champion. The engineers went crazy through the telemetry trying to figure out how this was possible. Well, listen to Senna describing in his own words what happened in that qualifying lap.
That day, I suddenly realized that I was no longer driving it conscious, and I was in a different dimension for me. The circuit for me was a tunnel, which I was just going, and I realized I was well beyond my conscious understanding.
What happened with Senna was way beyond being the zone. It was a state of consciousness where he was aware of his unconscious. This is a highly intuitive level of being, where you can anticipate what is going to happen before it happens and make appropriate adjustments. This phenomenon usually happens to virtuosos who perform at the edge of their ability. It is common among musicians and athletes, and in business too. It seems as though another mind with higher levels of knowingness takes over. This is what happens when we establish vibrational coherence with our genius, which can take place at different frequencies. The higher the frequency, the more focused our thoughts will be. The intentional visualization exercises in this program, along with the assignments, can help you achieve higher frequencies in a very conscious, directed way. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi also says, a person who has achieved control over psychic energy and has invested in consciously chosen goals cannot help but grow into a more complex being. By stretching skills, By reaching toward higher challenges, such a person becomes an increasingly extraordinary individual. Well, in this program, you are going to explore new ways to have more control over your energy, take on new challenges, expand your skills. Let your creative genius shine. All you need to do is to allow your answers to come to you first. Thank you. Ciao.